Senator Shaheen, thank you for your highlighting the directive nature of what Congress has told the USTR ambassador to do. And while it may take a short amount of time in order to accomplish that, we've seen no evidence that the requirement, the directive, is being followed. Ambassador, the pinch of input costs is soaring and very damaging to American agriculture producers. The invasion of Ukraine has only heightened the demand for food production, but tariffs on fertilizer represent an opportunity for you to relieve some of the pressure on the agriculture community. There are many of these duties are put in place by the Department of Commerce, but USTR can and should play a role, one, certainly in expanding markets, but what can you do? I'm talking about phosphates from Morocco. This administration placed countervailing duties on fertilizer ingredients coming from Trinidad and Tobago. What can you do to help lower the cost of imported fertilizer components?
Ranking Member Moran, I know how important agricultural production is to the U.S. economy, but also how important our agricultural production is to the world economy and to food security, frankly. And I'm also keenly aware of the exacerbations on global trade and supply that Russia's decision to invade Ukraine has inflicted on all of us. With respect to fertilizer trade and supply and what USTR can do about it, let me say this. I consider Secretary Vilsack, our Agriculture Secretary, to be one of my most important partners in the administration and, frankly, one of my closest friends personally. We have been working together very closely on food security issues writ large, but also specifically on the fertilizer pinch that we are all in. We have been working closely with USDA, both between myself and the Secretary and also our teams, to encourage feedback from a variety of our stakeholders on USDA's American-made fertilizer initiative that provides a $250 million grant for domestic production of fertilizer. USTR is also working with the interagency to encourage multilateral development banks, the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development to finance projects to expand fertilizer production, as well as increase the efficient use of fertilizer and precision agriculture, both areas where farmers are frankly at the leading and cutting edge of practice in the world. And we will continue to work internally within the administration and with our allies and partners to find additional ways to mitigate the global fertilizer shortage and prevent similar shocks in the future. The additional thought that I would offer you in your description of the pinch that we are in is, and I think that this is an issue that presents itself across the board in many different areas, and I'll be glad to highlight them, is one of the biggest challenges that we have right now is how to responsibly and effectively react to, respond to the current economic challenges and shocks that we have, but with an eye to ensuring that we are building towards a future system that is more resilient, that does not throw us back into the crisis that we're encountering today.
Ambassador, I know Secretary Vilsack well myself, and I have encouraged him to be a voice for agriculture producers throughout this administration. So I appreciate that you're consulting and working with him, and he's working with you. But your answer, it seemed to me, was a list of things that we are attempting to do, but did not include anything on that list about actually eliminating the tariffs or the countervailing duties that have been imposed on the phosphates and other fertilizer components that come into the United States.
If I may respond to that specifically, the anti-dumping countervailing duty programs are run out of Commerce, and your specific question is, what can we do at USTR, and that was the filter through which I was responding.
And so is the answer that you have nothing to do with eliminating those countervailing tariffs and duties at the Department of Commerce?
They're not my programs, but I am happy with Secretary Vilsack to have those conversations with the Commerce Secretary.
Please do. I've had those conversations with the Secretary myself. Madam Chairman, I don't think I have time for another question.